there, my name is Coach Rose Peterson. I'm a certified personal trainer, both in person and online, and a certified nutrition coach. I help moms locally in Las Vegas, Nevada, and all over the world shed the weight holding them back from becoming their most energetic and authentic version of themselves so they can go after their deepest desires alongside of motherhood. You can find me at fitandconfidentmoms.com. Hey, you guys, Coach Rose here, coming to you for another Tuesday talk. Ooh, I'm a little dark in here. Let me adjust. Today's topic, we're going to talk about eating right for your age. Now, as we get older, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced not just your energy levels changing, but maybe life stress and your time has you really thinking about prioritizing your health and how it might look different now and how it looked different 20 years ago, right? And this talk may be really good for your loved ones who you know that maybe you have teenagers that are going into their 20s. Maybe you have some older adults in your life that might want to hear about this talk. So if there are people in your timeline, I would love it if you would share this to your timeline because this is a really, really good talk. I'm going live in a couple of different places. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live from my business page, RP Fitness and Nutrition, and I'm live inside my group, Fit and Confident Moms. If you're not in my group and you're interested in getting help and support with your fitness, weight loss, muscle gain goals, you should join in there. Now, if you're watching live, type live, and if you're watching the replay, type replay. I love knowing who's watching, and also it helps me out tremendously because then it lets other people know that I'm live and they can get the benefit of listening to this talk. Okay, so I see that my stream is a little bit laggy. So let me just check with my family really quick. I'm gonna tell them they need to pause their devices for a moment. So I'm gonna just mute myself for literally 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to share my slides so that I have a really good place to look at. And also you guys can learn really well from seeing the slides and listening to me talk. There's evidence that shows that if you read the screen and listen at the same time, you'll be able to absorb the information even better. And if you want to take it up a notch, get that pen and paper out, write down some notes, and please drop some questions. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Sherry. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for watching. Your comments also let me know that you can hear me. Sometimes I have issues with my volume. Okay, so here is my slides. We're going to adjust to make it the biggest screen you can see. So how to eat right for your age from your 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond, okay? So we're gonna talk about fine-tuning your nutrition so that you can continue to live as your best and most energetic selves. That's what we all want, right? Like we've noticed we're not moving the same way we did in our 20s. So what can we do to support ourselves so that when we're in our 60s and 70s, we're still rocking it the best way that we can, all right? So yes, sound is on. Gotcha. Love you guys. All right. So move on to the next slide. If you guys are new to me, my name is Coach Rose Peterson, and I am a founder of Fit and Confident Academy. I became a coach after my own journey of pretty much trying every diet out there between all my pregnancies. I have 3 children. This photo on the left of me, that is probably in the middle of one of my journeys. I'm not even pregnant yet with my 3rd at this point. And so that picture was, let's see, 10 years ago, maybe more, 12 years ago. And now I am turning 40 and I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. And I really can attribute that to finally getting the right help and stop floundering on my own, hiring a coach. And literally within 18 months, I was in the best shape of my life. And I always wonder, why did I not wait so long? Why did I not get help sooner? Like, why did I struggle so much in my 20s? Partly it was because I didn't even know coaching existed until I saw like an advertisement on my Facebook. And partly it's just being full with life and just not giving myself permission to get help. I think I just kept thinking that I got to be able to figure this out on my own. and getting help, admitted to myself that I couldn't figure this out. I'm like, what was wrong with me? Like everybody else I know is getting fit, losing weight. Why can't I figure this out? And I really, if you feel that way, I really encourage you to just ask yourself, is that really true? Is it really true that there's something wrong with you because you can't figure this out on your own? No. If you look at the most successful people in the world, they all have mentors, they all have coaches, and that helps them get to their most elite and best level, right? So let's think about that as like champions. What do champions do? They have coaches to help get the best out of them. So that's what I do now. It's been my journey inspired me to help others. And I just thought, you know what? I need to shout from the rooftops to every mom I know that it doesn't have to be the way we thought it could be. It could actually be enjoyable, empowering. We can get in the best shapes of our lives and love the process. So that's how I became a trainer. I coach other women, and I founded FitConfident Academy. So if you want to learn more about that, please leave me a comment below and we'll chat, okay? These are just some of my wonderful, amazing clients that I've worked with recently. We're featuring Jill here. She's amazing. So after my clients, well, some of them get a photo shoot when they graduate with me. Some have just been longtime clients, and every year we get a photo shoot to just celebrate their progress, celebrate everything that they do for themselves, their commitment in the gym. And I just love them dearly for it. I think everybody should be celebrated. All right, we're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about nutrition in your 20s. Some of you guys have preteens, teens. Maybe you have an adult son or daughter that are in their 20s and you really want to try to help give them some guidance. This is going to be a good place to be, because as we know, when we were in our 20s, we thought we were invincible. Like, what if we had extra knowledge in our 20s now to be like, we could even be even more invincible, right? Like, what could I do to support myself now so that I build these foundations, so when I'm in my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, 60s, and beyond, stuff's not catching up to me, right? And it's okay if that's how we're feeling now. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching, is because, yep, stuff caught up to me. I was probably a crazy maniac in my 20s. I can't act like that anymore. So let's just talk about what building and exploring and what your life looks like in 20s and how we can support you to feel your best. Before I jump in, I want to give credit where credit is due. Many of you may or may not know that I am certified level 2 nutrition coach through Precision Nutrition. I got my first certification with them in 2017. Then I took their 1-year master program a year later and became a level 2 coach. And I'm actually retaking level 2 this year. I'm super excited, but super nervous at the same time, because I feel like I'm going back to college, because that's how it felt when I was there. I'm retaking level 2 because they just recently became approved so that nutrition coaches can become board certified. So I'm going to go through the program again, become board certified, to just show that, hey, I have this baseline of knowledge to help people, and this certifying board agreed that I do. So just kind of cool, all right. Oh yeah, so this training is brought to you by an article written by Dr. Krista Scott Dixon, who works for Precision Nutrition. Okay, so the benefits of being in our 20s, right? We recover so quickly. We can stay out late, still go to work the next day. You know, our bodies are forgiving if we don't eat right. You know, we have tacos, alcohol, beer. We can stay up late, but we can still function the next day, right? We can still keep going, still go to work. In our 20s, our bodies build bone, muscle really quickly, even if we have lack of sleep and even if we're eating crap, right? And some of you have talked to me on client interviews and you're like, gee, man, like when I was in my 20s, I could just bounce back. And now I'm in my 30s and it's not the same. So I just want to kind of talk about, like, it's nothing wrong with you. It's just that in our 20s, we just have the best resilience in our 20s, okay? And also in our 20s, we're the most fertile. So we got a lot of hormone things going on where we're meeting new people, making new connections because of that, okay? In our 20s, though, we did have some challenges. Most of us, have a lot of stress in going through the process of growing up, finding ourselves, figuring out our career choices, and being in schools. And we hold a lot of expectations on ourselves in our 20s. We're people pleasers. We still want to go out in the world, but also we put a lot of pressure on ourselves in our 20s. Raise your hand if you can resonate with that. Put 20s in the comments if some of these things I'm saying you remember and I'm bringing you back. And then a lot of times in our 20s, we think that, gosh, these things are so important. And we add stress and pressure on ourselves. So those are some kind of the challenges of our 20s. Yes, 20s, good. So in our 20s, the best thing you can do is to start setting foundations. Okay. And if you, like I said, if you've got teens or tweens at home, these are some good conversations to start having. Okay. And if you have some teens, 20s in your timeline, share this live with them from my RP Fitness and Nutrition page. Share this to your timeline. Okay, so start to build your own owner's manual. And an owner's manual just means what's important to you right now, and how can we start building a foundation of living by those things? So maybe being active is important to you. So what does that mean? Does that mean taking a walk every day? Does that mean tracking to make sure I have a minimum of 5,000 steps? Think about what's most important to you as you age. This is the time to start setting habits and foundations. And if you're anything like me, you're turning 40 or you're about to be 40, you think to yourself man, I wish I would have got started sooner. I wish I would have got started earlier. Because these foundational habits, they take time to groove. They take time to really become solid. So now could be the time to really have these conversations. Or if you're watching and you're in your 20s right now, think about what's important to you. Is it important to you to have more energy and not feel the effects of aging when you're in your 30s? Then maybe one of the things could be to challenge yourself to have colorful fruit and vegetables as frequently as you can to make sure your body is supported with those micronutrients. Think about what you want your lifestyle to be as you age and create healthy habits around that, okay? But in your 20s, you might be juggling a lot of things. You're super ambitious. So my advice is to make it very simple. Like I said, maybe it's working out 3 times a week. Maybe it's watching my fitness watch, making sure I get 5,000 steps every day. These are small things. A 20-year-old would think why 5,000 steps? Why do you need to bother tracking that? Trust me, my 20-year-old self, you're going to want to lay down these foundations so they come naturally and you don't have to think about this in the future. Okay. Make it simple. The other thing, this is an amazing time to start strength training. If you have not started weight training, if you have not done any kind of strength training, right now is the best time for you to start in your 20s. You start building muscle so much more quickly. You recover quickly from your exercise, and your body is in a prime state to continue to build strong bones, strong muscles, more connective tissue. So this is the time to build that foundation. Okay, so that way it's going to last until in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. Okay, let me move something. Okay, there we go. There was something that was blocking the rest of the slide on my end. And this time in your 20s is a great time to take a chance on a variety of activities. Explore what you like. Maybe it's indoor rock climbing. Maybe it's a soccer league. Maybe it's trying out CrossFit. Maybe it's trying out a Taekwondo studio. This is the time to really explore things that you enjoy. And also cross-training in different modalities is very good for us. So maybe you want to do some running, maybe you want to do some lifting. Trying a variety of things while we're young and energetic is going to help us kind of as we age, figure out where we want to settle down in, what do we enjoy, but also keeps us moving really, really well. Okay. I would love to know in the comments before we move on. Okay. What do you wish you would have done in your 20s? Because there's somebody out there watching this and they're going to get advice from you. I don't know everything. I haven't lived your life. Maybe you've got great advice that you would have loved to have given your 20-year-old self. I would love for you to drop in the comments below what advice you would have given your 20-year-old self in regards to your nutrition and fitness and getting out there, okay? In my 20s, I did mostly biking, but it did fit my Cali lifestyle. Oh my gosh. Yeah, in California, there's some beautiful parts, beautiful trails, a great time to like do those kind of things. Here in Vegas too. Also, where are you watching from? Drop in the comments. I would love to know where you're watching from. All right, so now in your 30s, we're finding our groove, but we're also going through some unique life experience in our 30s, right? Some of us are having kids. Some of us are advancing in our careers. Some of us may be going through some things that really suck. Okay, so let's talk about that. In our 30s, we start to get some more confidence in ourselves. Like I said, career opportunities are presenting themselves. Maybe we're becoming a parent. As these new changes come into play, sometimes our focus is healthy habits become focusing on less, and we have a priority to focus energy on our career or to our family. But there are some benefits, right? In our 30s, we feel more stable. Maybe we have an increased income, right? So those are some good things. We could start buying like better quality foods and not like foods that we have to warm up in our dorm room. Okay, the challenges in our 30s. You might start to notice it's not as easy to lose body fat as it was in your 20s. In your 20s, you're like, I just had to make a few changes and bam, the weight just came off. And it's not as easy to gain muscle as it did in your 20s, right? In your 30s, it could take you longer to recover from a tough workout. Maybe you used to play sports and you're like, man, I could show up for practice every single day. But now in your 30s, you're like, oh man, that was a tough workout. I might have to like take an extra rest day tomorrow, maybe just walk and do some stretching and make sure that I get that rest so I can perform at my next workout. Also, the challenges in your 30s is life, like I said, could be more complicated, could be more full. We could be juggling raising our children, but also possibly caring for older ones. So there's a lot of more responsibilities that are on your plate when you're in your 30s that require a lot of time from you. And sometimes that takes away from being able to work out when we want to and to maybe not eat as well as we want to. So in our 30s, some good foundational habits to start including would, one, nobody likes to hear this, but you'll probably might have to start eating less as your activity lessens. So in our 30s, we might not be running around going out like we used to in our 20s. We might not be meeting our friends for the mall and walking for 2 hours. I mean, that was me. Okay, you might not be going places as much. You might be at home more, especially if you're raising children. You might be at home more. So, or if you're advancing in your career, you may be sitting in an office more. So now your activity level is decreasing. We're gonna have to match our eating habits to that. If we don't adjust our calories to be a little lower, this is the time where weight sneaks up on us. Like I hear it all the time in client interviews where it just seemed to happen overnight. And at first, 5 or 10 pounds a year doesn't seem like a big deal until we're in our late 30s and we're 20 to 40 pounds, carrying 20 to 40 pounds more than we want to. And you're like, gee, what happened? And a lot of times it's just because we had so much, we were juggling so much, and we just became, our health and our fitness went to the bottom of the to-do list, and it came on right before our eyes. So this is the time to really set some foundational habits in our 30s so that we don't carry over extra unwanted weight in our 40s and 50s. So one of those things is adjusting our caloric intake lower to match our activity level, okay? This is also the time where we're gonna have to be careful of the quality of our food. So food sensitivities start to show up. You're not able to like eat those nachos and not affect you, right? And now it's like you could eat those nachos and be paying for it for a couple of days and not feeling good or bloated. So now we're gonna wanna make sure we're feeding our bodies a lot better than we did in our 20s. So really prioritizing good food quality. Okay. Optimizing your hormonal health. This is not talked about enough. but a lot of things that happen to our hormones comes from stress. It could be that mental stress from just really multitasking, juggling, and our hormones are just not happy because our fight and flight response are constantly turned on, right, from all the stress. And it could be also from physical stress too. So any stress, even exercise, is still stress on the body. So when we have lots of mental stress, then we have physical stress, we have to make time to unwind from that stress. Because if we don't, our hormones are not happy. It makes it harder for us to lose unwanted weight. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're making health a priority in our 30s, including stress reduction, so our hormones are happy. Okay. This is also a good time to start establishing simple nutrition and fitness routines. I want to say simple, okay? Eat better, add more vegetables, eat more frequently, have protein at every meal. If we think about eating better, just eating better, eating more simply, that's way easier to stick to in our busy lives in our 30s than thinking we have to start these radical diets and change our whole life in the middle of everything else we're doing. So this is probably not a good idea to try like the carnivore diet or the snake diet or giving up all carbs. Probably a very bad idea to give up all carbs because we need our energy, our brain energy, and our physical energy to keep up with all the stuff going on in our 30s. And if you can't see yourself living that diet for the rest of your life and it's not sustainable, girl, you do not have time to start that and then lose, gain. So simple nutrition changes. Okay, start establishing that. Maureen says, I agree with that. Yes, absolutely. And around this time for fitness, quick, effective workouts. My clients get in the best shape of their lives on 1% of time per week. 1%. It's less time than you think. Okay. So, but the key is to make that routine. Okay. So maybe it's 1 hour, 3 times a week. Out of your 7 days a week, finding 1 hour, it can be done. Or if that's hard, maybe it's 20 to 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Make a simple routine that works for you. Okay. Don't make it complicated. Don't tell yourself that you have to train for a 5K. Don't tell yourself that you have to go to this boot camp class that wants you to come every single day. And even they want you to go 2 a day to get the best results. That's unsustainable for someone in their 30s. Like me in my 30s, I was still raising kids, launching a business, and I'm a wife. I'm not going to boot camp double 6 days a week. But, a lot of places will tell you to do that. And I'm not going to go down a tangent because there's more than one reason why that's not good for you. Okay. In your 40s, you are going strong. I truly believe that if we set good foundations in our 20s and 30s, oh my God, your 40s are going to be amazing. But also in your 40s, it's not too late. You still have some energy. You can still go for it. And as a matter of fact, on my birthday, 2 weeks from now, you do not want to miss. I'm going to be having a 40th birthday brunch live here. And I'm going to be talking to, I believe I invited 5 other women who are some amazing 40-year-old and beyond women. And we're going to talk about how life gets better after we turn 40 and some kind of life lessons too. You do not want to miss it. I'm going to have some amazing guests April 26th on my actual birthday. Okay. All right. Let me know if you're going. If you're going to birthday brunch, make an appointment in your calendar, April 26th, 1 p.m. Put it in the comments if you'll be there. All right. So the benefits of 40s, you're gaining confidence. All right. We're saying yes to what we want and we're saying no to what we don't want. And we don't give a damn what anyone else thinks because we've realized that the most important person to please is ourselves. If we don't please ourselves first, then nothing else, we can't show up to be the best version of ourselves, right? In our 40s, there could be some really exciting career things happening. We finally fine-tuned where we want to be in life, and that's happening for us, right? We could be deepening relationships with loved ones. And in our 40s, it's a great time to experience personal growth and focusing on yourself. Because like I said, we've lived, like, let's say we lived to 80, half of our life is done. But guess what? As my friend Levi Walker said in my photo shoot the other day, you get a do-over for the next 40 years, right? How awesome is that? Now we're 40. Now we have a great mindset. Now we know exactly what we want, and we get to choose what we want to do with our lives the next 40 years, right? Oh my God. I'm not sad about turning 40. I'm excited, and I feel like I'm in the best physical shape of my life, and mentally I feel the best. So if you're not 40 yet, you got a lot to look forward to. All right. Okay. So challenges of our 40s. Yes, birthday brunch online. Someone says, that is terrifying. LOL, half of our life is over. I'm going to reframe that we have the next half of our life to look forward to. Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay. So challenges of our 40s is, if we didn't take the best care of ourselves beforehand, we might be starting to feel the effects of that, right? So minor aches and pains are more persistent, and it's just not a one-time thing. It's now like, oh my God, I slept funny and now like my shoulder hurts, or I slept funny and like I got a pain in my hip. Like seriously, we did not think of these things in our 20s and 30s. That sleeping weird can make us feel terrible. So these things start to show up, right? Also, some small nagging health problems might be taking longer to heal. Like we get a cold and it takes longer for us to recover. Our reduced hormone levels are starting to show our signs, right? Women, we're going to be showing signs of perimenopause. Men, lower testosterone, right? This time also is harder to build strength and muscle. Not impossible, but just a little harder than it was in our 20s. I'm proof that it's not impossible. My amazing 70-year-old gym mate is proof that it's not impossible. We're all traveling. There's 11 of us from our gym. We're all 35 and over, and we're competing in Olympic weightlifting. So even though we do come with challenges in our 40s, it doesn't mean like life stops there. We can still keep showing up for ourselves, all right? So we may experience a decline in athletic performance. So if you played sports, you know that your peak, your prime was probably in your 20s. Like I said, doesn't mean that you can't be amazing now, but we're just not at the same athletic performance. Also, new food sensitivities might be showing up, right? Like you might realize like, oh my God, I used to be able to eat tomatoes. I can't eat tomatoes anymore. Intolerances are starting to show up. This is the time where we're experimenting with cutting out dairy and figuring out what our bodies agree with. Also, midlife crises kind of begin to show up as we start to question our beliefs in the world. So these are some challenges that can happen in our 40s. All right, so the foundational habits for your 40s. You guys ready? Take pen and paper out. Maureen, 40s are the best. I absolutely agree with that. Okay, so the foundational habits to have in your 40s is, again, we may have to adjust our caloric intake. We can't eat as much as we used to, especially if our activity level is slowing down. Maybe we're home more, especially with the pandemic. A lot of jobs moved to working from the home. So we can't eat as much as we used to. Unfortunately, we have to match our caloric intake, adjust down. However, we can work against that. We can be more active, right? We can gain more muscle. Both of those things allow us to be able to take in more energy via food to support our activity. Spend more time on strength and resistance training. If you are sitting here thinking like, I got to start working out, I only have 30 minutes 3 times a week, I 100% would want you to do 30 minutes of strength training. 100%. Okay, so prioritize that strength training. It's going to help slow muscle loss. It's also going to help us maintain insulin sensitivity to prevent type 2 diabetes and regulate blood sugar. My dad, I'm so proud of him. I believe it's 2 or 3 years ago. My dad was one of my first coaching clients. Type 2 diabetic, had lots of unwanted weight. He went through my coaching program to help him not only lose weight, but set some new foundational habits in his late 50s. Okay. And now he's in the best shape of his life, and he's been able to reduce his medication greatly. So not only does he feels stronger, more energetic, but he's also bought himself some years back. He's added more years to his calendar from doing this, and then saving time, money, energy, stress from everything that comes with type 2 diabetes, right? So strength training is a key part to that. My dad's ripped now. Okay. If you want to see dad, type dad in the comments and I'll tag you in the post. It could be a real inspiration to you or someone you know. All right. In our 40s, now is the time to have a good warm up. Okay. Spend more time on mobility, getting ready. We can't just jump right into the gym like we could literally pull something, right? If we just like roll out of bed and go work out. So we need to spend some time with some good mobility before our workout. So mobility is another foundational habit. So thinking about how can I be more mobile? So maybe you're going to also incorporate yoga one day a week. You could do Yoga by Adrienne on YouTube. She's amazing. She's got like 200 or so videos you could choose from, maybe more because I haven't checked her out in a while. In her 40s, nutrition's got to be a priority. You're going to have to consider your nutrition more carefully and start adding in nutrient-rich foods like colorful fruits and veggies. Now's the time to just be like, you know what? When I was growing up, I used to hate peas. Well, now I'm like, why was I like that? I'm going to try peas out. Like, I'm going to stop being a little toddler and try some new things, okay? So if you don't have allergies or intolerance to them, now's the time to kind of really explore and ask yourself to eat more nutrient-rich foods, okay? Here's the other thing too, is we're dealing with inflammation, a lot of us are. So we want to start adding in foods that are rich in omega-3s, okay? This could also be a good time to start a probiotic because our digestion changes as we get older. And then lastly, practice mindful eating. This is another good foundation to have. Mindful eating. I actually should have put this in the start. Well, mindful eating, strength training is like, those are my two. Like if we were going to sit down and be like, Rose, what are your foundational habits for myself? My mindful eating is number one. Strength training is number two. And what do I mean by mindful eating? Like, what I mean is like being so mindful of your choices. For one, like if I eat out, do you have to have like the greasiest thing on the menu? No, you can maybe enjoy fries, but I'm going to be mindful and say, I'm going to get this lettuce wrap because I know that I want to have my fries and I want to save calories. That's making a mindful choice. The other thing is eating undistracted. No phone, no TV, eating slow. I mean, I think Sherry's on this call here, and when I tell her like, hey, I'm going to eat something real quick. Okay, my real quick is not real quick because I've trained myself to eat slowly, chew a lot. I chew my food a lot. That eating quick for me, quick is like 15, 20 minutes. And that's because I choose to be super mindful of my food. I need to sit down undistracted, nothing else in front of me but my food. And that right there is a huge key to why I can maintain my current weight. Okay, mindful eating. This is also good during the busy times of your life where you just need to give yourself a moment to de-stress. And also, it takes 20 minutes for your brain and your body to acknowledge that you're full. So if we scarf down our food in a short amount of time, we could possibly eat more calories than we really need, okay? And years of that, it adds up. All right, in your 50s, I'm not there yet, but I have my mother and my father to look to as an example, and this is a time that could be on refocusing and renewing, right? Refocusing our priorities, renewing what's important to us. We feel a renewed sense of purpose, and we might even like appreciate our vitality, appreciate that we're still here, we could be active, okay? Stress release, there are stress releases naturally because of our viewpoints have shifted and we really are focusing on what's important. And in our 50s, refocusing on what's important to you and being able to act on it is something that they naturally do in their 50s, right? Like you're not going to make someone in their 50s do something they don't want to. In your 50s, we stop saying yes to things that don't matter to us, okay? Challenges of being in our 50s. Physical signs of aging become more important. Our joints are creaking and crunching. Your circadian rhythm may have shifted. Maybe when we're in our 20s, we could stay up till 5 a.m., but now we wake up at 5 a.m., right? Like, do you know, like people as they age are like up really early, right? Go to bed really early, awake really early. Our circadian rhythms may have shifted. Menopause, perimenopause is happening. And then some of our gym work might be more about rehabbing any injuries and controlling inflammation. We might be focusing on that. So some foundational habits to have in your 50s, keep adjusting that nutrient intake, right? We might have to eat less because our metabolism has slowed down, and maybe our workouts aren't as intense as they used to be. So we have to adjust our nutrient intake. We really want to make an effort to get essential fatty acids in your diet to keep our brain sharp and take care of other fatty tissues like our brain and our eyes, okay? So look out for foods that are high in omega-3s, okay? They help you fight inflammation that causes chronic disease. Eat the rainbow of fruits and veggies, right? They help fight oxidative stress and reduce the risk of chronic disease. And then maybe check with your doctor, disclaimer, but maybe you want to try some evidence-based anti-inflammatories, okay? Like anti-inflammatory supplements, not medications, supplements, but check to make sure these supplements, you know, like turmeric, garlic, bromelain, certain teas, check with your doctor first, make sure it's all Gucci. I'm not giving you medical advice, okay, but just something to consider. All right. Oh, that's the same as the other one, just bigger. I should have used that one, sorry. Keep going. Now, in your 60s, you're going to feel like you had a second wind, right? Like, I'm just going to keep going. 60s is the new 40s. 60s can be a time to learn new things, have fun adventures. Do you guys know any of your people in your lives who are in their 60s that are traveling the world and they look like they're having an amazing time? That's what I want to be doing when I'm in my 60s, trying new things, you know, seeking new opportunities, volunteering for things that I care about, spending time on meaningful things, doing stuff for my own personal enjoyment, making more connections with my family. That's really the benefits of your 60s. Challenges. It's on now. You can't argue with aging anymore, right? Like you're 60 years old. Some days it feels like you're living in a body that you don't recognize. And I've had clients in their 60s and their health still matters to them and they still care. And maybe if they're carrying unwanted weight, they want help with that. And I've helped women who thought that they're like, in my 60s, how can I possibly lose any weight? My hormones are crazy, won't let me do anything. That's untrue. I've helped women in their 60s, in their late 50s, even women in their 70s shed unwanted weight. So it can be done, okay? But you may feel like physiological stuff is happening to you and it's just like happening randomly and without you even know it's happening. So it can kind of be a little frustrating, but also you're at this age where it's accepting, like it's, you know, these things are happening. How can I continue to be active and live the life I want, right? So on the plus side, you've probably accepted that, but you're looking forward to opportunities that this experience and the wisdom that it brings to you, okay? So in your 60s, some foundational habits could be, this means that you might have more time to try something new and challenging. At this time, really focusing on high quality, nutrient-rich nutrition is really important, all right? eat the rainbow, eat a variety of proteins. We really want to have omega-3 fatty acids in our diets to help with any inflammation or pain we may be experiencing, and remove foods that trigger us or cause flare-ups in our inflammation. Our digestion, it might be poorer, so we might have to look for supplements to support our digestion, okay? Something like a digestive enzyme, a probiotic, or fiber supplements, or B12. Again, discussions to have with your doctor, okay? You will need exercise. Yes, in your 60s, a 60-year-old will tell you that. The more active they are, the more they feel like they can do. And, if you have friends, 60-year-old friends or family members that are active, you could feel like they're living life, right? They're out in the garden and they're doing the things they want to do. They're traveling, they're exploring. The more active you become in your 60s, the more active you can stay, okay? So do not stop. Okay. Sherry says that's her parents. I'm guessing your parents are like travelers, active. They stay active so they can continue to do the things that they love. In your 60s, we might want to try some new things like balance and mobility training and flexibility, like yoga or Tai Chi, right? And I do balance training with my 30, 40, 50-year-old clients now. And it's amazing. We all laugh at ourselves because it's like, why is standing on one leg so difficult? But that's something that we're going to want to incorporate into our training. Also, I may have forgot to mention this in the 50s, but this is also important in the 60s. Strength training, key. We got to keep strength training. We want to maintain lean muscle mass and bone density as we age. So we've got to include resistance training. And then also doing some kind of impact, like walking or running, is still good for us at this age, okay? Activity with impact does help our bones. So, and strength training helps our bones. Make sure you get your protein, please. If there's one piece of advice, if I had to narrow it down to one, eat your protein, please. I mean, there's so many, but there's so many people that aren't eating enough protein. Okay, we may be rehabbing injuries or recovering from a regular workout takes longer. So we might want to try some water-based exercise like swimming, water jogging, or aqua aerobics classes. Those are really good for us as we age to keep our mobility going, keep us active, and also that helps us recover from our strength training. So get those bathing suits on. At that age, I know that many people do not care. Get me in the pool. I just love the pool. Or, I'm wearing the swimsuit and staying active. And then some activities that you might want to try that are less impactful would be cycling or rowing, okay? Keep things fresh and challenging as we age. It's good for your brain too. So find some new healthy routines to help you cope with life transitions, right? So in your 60s, you might want to start helping care for your grandkids, or you might be caring for people who are critically ill and might be passing away. So there's a lot of stresses that could still be happening in your 60s. So find some healthy routines to help you cope with those life stresses. And then make sure you're covering your bases. Get your annual checkups. Get those lumps and bumps checked out. Go to the dentist like you should normally do. So make sure everything under the hood is working. All right. So stay moving. Choose nutrient-rich foods. Avoid things that take value away from your body. Okay. Recognize what you can control and what you can't. Build and maintain connection and community, and get coaching. Yes, get coaching. If this is hard to do, get coaching. There is nothing wrong with getting help. That's exactly what I did. So now if you're thinking about getting help and support with a proven program, and you don't want to waste time with wraps, teas, supplements, fat burners, and you want real lasting results where you can create foundations for yourself that your kids can watch you do, right? So that we break the cycle there. Your kids can watch you create these healthy habits and shed unwanted weight. If you want help with that, I and you're a mom over 35 looking to lose at least 20 pounds over the next 12 to 16 weeks, I would love to help you shortcut the process. Your time is valuable. Your health is valuable. I take that very seriously. Type "I'm ready" in the comments, and I would love to help you out, and we can explore if coaching would be the right fit. If it is not, I will point you in the right direction. And I've done that for many people if I didn't feel that that was the best fit. All right. So here's some criteria of the women that I usually work with. If you're a busy and ambitious woman or mom who's tired of struggling alone and just want to feel like yourself again, you're coachable and ready to do the work using a system that works. And mama, I want to help you wear the clothes to show off in instead of the ones you hide in. And you're ready for a change. Type below, "I'm ready," and we'll get on a DM message or send me a DM. Now, my coaching, my program, FitConfident Academy, is not for you if you're looking for a quick fix. If you want to give up all carbs, okay, so I'm a carb advocate here. We like coffee, Taco Tuesday, and Pizza Friday around here. And I'm talking about coffee with cream, okay? If you don't want accountability, and you aren't willing to put yourself on the to-do list, this program's not for you. And if you don't think that investing in yourself is worth it, this program won't be for you either, because it is an investment in your health and your long-term health, okay? All right, so that is it. If you guys, I would love to hear what your biggest takeaway was. Please leave it in the comments. If you have any questions for me, leave it in the comments. And if there is a topic you would love for me to cover, leave that in the comments. I create these topics. I decide what to talk about based on your guys' feedback, because this is for you, not for me. This is for you. And I always hope that there is somebody out there that needs to listen to this today. So please bring those ideas coming so that I can bring the topics that you want to hear. This month with me, turning the big 4-0, the theme has been aging and doing the different things as we age. So it's been a really fun one to do. Next week, tune in. We had to reschedule our financial talk with Jen Bombao to next Tuesday. It's going to be a great one. She is launching a podcast, and she decided to bring her other podcast members in. So it's going to be a good one, or it's going to be a nice, little conference of, there's going to be 4 of us on this Zoom. So it's going to be talking about financial empowerment, simple ways for us to stay on track with our finances, and really opening up the conversation on how we can regain control, power, direction with our finances. And I am just loving it. 40 is the new 30. I think so. I really, really think so. Also, I'm always confused about what people expected in their 30s. I don't know. I feel like the 40s is the best. Okay. So next week, Jen Bombao and friends with financial tips, because April is also Financial Awareness Month. So that's another reason why we brought that in. I hope you guys enjoyed this talk. I know it went a little bit long. I had to cover all the years, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I even cut off the 70s just because I knew this was going to be long. Thank you for staying in. Linda, hello. Maureen, Sherry, Judith, if you're here. Okay, so I can't see everybody's name, but thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. And if you shared this to your newsfeed, extra thank yous, because you never know who might need to hear this. So until next time, this is Coach Rose rooting for you to try something new in 2022. See you later. Have the wonderful rest of your spring break.